Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, the motion picture you're about to see contains scenes so terrifying, the public must be given grave warning.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Bloody Binge movie podcast. I am your host, Sewer Dweller. Sorry, I'm trying to do it. It's been a weird day. I hope everybody has had a better day than I have. Um, so it's going to be a different show today. I know we were supposed to do Christmas in July and do 12 Slaves of Christmas, but I've run into a couple of issues. First of all, and probably the most important, is my headphones have broken. So right now I am literally holding the piece that I speak to up to my mouth. Hopefully you cannot hear me breathing and everything like that. I'm trying to do my best to keep it as far away as possible so you don't hear the breathing or anything like that. But that's not the bigger issue. For some reason right now I can't go live on Twitter. And I don't know why. But the bigger issue is, so the movie I chose, I didn't do it. I didn't do the amount of research that I normally do in the movies. For those who don't know, we were going to do Full Moon's Christmas or 12 Slaves of Christmas today. What Full Moon does sometimes is they make movies, they put them out, release them, advertise them as movies, and in reality, they are almost like trailers or clip shows for their previously made movies. They've done this a lot, like with a lot of the Puppet Masters and the Killjoys and things like that. But um, I didn't realize they did it with the Christmas one as well. So that's what they did with the 12 Slaves of Christmas, and I realized at first when I started watching it, I thought it was weird because wow, it's only 40 minutes long. What That's very weird. I wish I could figure out why I can't go live on Twitter. Let me see if I can fix this real quick as well. Um, I'll worry about that here in a minute. But they did it with this one where I thought it was an anthology movie when I first looked at it, but in reality, it's them telling stories about the Ginger Dead Man and a Jack in the Box movie and Puppet Master and that. And needless to say, that's not what I'm looking to do here. Um, um, Sorry, I'm still trying to fix this while I'm talking. So yeah, we're not going to be able to do that movie. We're going to extend that till next week. Um, Okay, I see the problem. They do not. We do not have. Apparently, they've now fixed it where you have to actually pay the $8 a month on Twitter to go live on Twitter. We cannot go live on Twitter. Yeah, you have to have a premium account to go live on Twitter. Okay, so that's gonna put a damper today. But yeah, um, so unfortunately, I cannot do a Christmas movie this week. We're going to extend it till next week. We'll do the Christmas in July, Christmas horror movie next week. So this week we're just going to focus on some horror movie haunt news and probably some stupid news, like we did last week. Thank you again, by the way, everybody who turned in last week. Thank you for once again making the Bloody Binge movie podcast, basically making it the most watched episode ever. Um, for the Ohio cryptids, I'm the turnout, the response has been pretty overwhelmingly positive. Hopefully, everybody can tune in a couple of weeks when we go to Vermont for the next episode of Shivers, or we do something. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go like in chronological order for the Shivers episodes, but we're gonna basically make it so it's gonna be a mix between the cryptids of whatever state we're doing and then whatever else other items we're gonna do, aliens in Ohio, black eyed kids and things like that. Maybe even some true crime and that added in some cults. But like I said today, unfortunately, because the way the movie is, I can't bring that movie to you and in a way that will work, if that makes sense. Um, it just won't work if I try to do that. The movie on here, the 12 Slaves of Christmas, but plus it would be a very very short episode because the movie's only 41 minutes long. But right now, let's go ahead and jump into some what do we call it? Silly news, stupid news, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do some haunt industry news and some horror movie news today. Unfortunately, there is no movie because, like I said, I can't bring it to you in a way that'll be entertaining. Um, because like I said, the movie just goes straight into clips of other movies. So we'll do another Christmas movie next week, but this week we'll do some silly news, some dumbass news, I guess we could call it if we want. But I think a radio station already calls one of their segments like dumbass news. We'll figure out what to call it eventually. But first, we're going to go all the way to, I believe it's Burbank, California, for Spirit Airlines gate agent has meltdown on passengers waiting for delayed flight. I think I've heard a couple of things about this week, but an enraged Spirit Airline agent's gate agent was caught on video yelling at disgruntled passengers to shut up as they became agitated after waiting hours to board their delayed flight. The heated exchange happened at the Hollywood Burbank Airport in California, when passengers waiting to board a morning flight that had been delayed for over 8 hours began questioning the holdup. The Spirit Airline the Spirit employees became overwhelmed when a different group of passengers arrived at the Cape for their flight and joined in the mayhem. Please be quiet so I can think of what's going on. I don't even know what aircraft's here because everybody's screaming numbers. One agent, wearing an orange shirt and reflective vest, sternly announces over the intercom to anxious passengers. You guys won't give me a minute. Please give me a minute. The clip then jumps to a second agent wearing a black shirt and reflective vest, clenching her fist and screaming at the anxious passengers. Can I have everybody's attention right now? The ticked off agent shouts at the crowd without using the intercom. Do y'all want to get on this flight or not? Yes, we do, girl, a passenger yells back from the gaggle of disgruntled flyers. All right, so everyone's going to shut up and we're going to say this once and we're going to say it again because we're all frustrated as hell. She proclaimed to the travelers in a heated interaction recorded by a nearby passenger, Kevin Ice. As Ice leans his camera in to record the agent blowing her top, the first Spirit Airlines agent tells him she can remove him off the flight. Ice, who was boarding another flight to Las Vegas when he recorded the outburst, was left in shock. Oh my God, it was the most chaotic thing that has ever happened to me at an airport, he told Inside Edition. Ice claims that the second agent heard telling travelers to shut up initially, came over to help assist the first agent and calm down the passengers, but quickly lost her cool. We apologize to our guests for this experience and which does not reflect Spirit's high standards for guest services, Spirit Airlines said in a statement to Insider. High standards? It's fucking Spirit Airlines. What? The airline also shared that the two agents have been suspended following outbursts at the customers. I hope these people learned their lesson, Ice shared. This isn't the first time things have gotten chaotic at a Spirit Airlines gate. You think? You think it hasn't? In May, a dispute at a Spirit Airlines ticket counter over at Baltimore Washington International Airport erupted into a violent brawl involving 5 men, leaving one with minor injuries. Can we all agree the Spirit Airlines is almost like the Waffle House of the the airport? Like you have to expect that from Spirit. Um, you have to expect that from Spirit Airlines. But yeah, that's. I mean, the lady, the agent isn't the only one in the wrong here. The people shouldn't be going up yelling. Give them a minute. If you're there, it's a stressful situation. Give them a minute. You know, not that she should have screamed like that, but just give these people a minute. They're human beings. They got to figure out what the hell's going on. But moving on to our next story. Dogs. This is a dumb criminal story. From Gainesville, Georgia. It's a bad idea to burglarize a place marked Canine Training Facility. Police dog handlers arriving Wednesday at the abandoned nursing home where they hold training sessions discovered 2 men and a woman dismantling the building's copper pipes and wiring. Hall County Sheriff Sergeant Kylie Sargent said. When the officers arrived, the 3 dropped their tools and ran. That was their second mistake. For anyone to try to run from a whole unit of canines, it's just a no-win situation, Sargent said. Pamela Puckett, 37, quickly surrendered. Mark Black, 18, was tracked to a trash bin behind a nearby convenience store. Paul Perry, 39, was treated for a superficial dog bite just below the buttocks after his arrest, authorities said. So basically, the female and the young kid ran. The older gentleman, whose probably idea it was, got bit in the ass by the dog. Uh, Signs outside the northern Georgia facility warn caution. Gainesville Police Department Canine Training Facility, keep out. It's not like it was a secret, Sergeant said. I guess someone who is that determined to steal something might not pay attention. High copper prices in recent years have led to thieves breaking into power plants and abandoned factories to rip out the wiring. Perry of Gainesville and Puckett and Black of nearby Brazelton were charged with burglary. Sergeant said Perry and Black also faced misdemeanor obstruction charges. All 3 remained in custody Friday. Jail officials had no information on whether any had lawyers. So you broke into a canine training facility. Hold on 1 second, guys. So they broke into a canine facility and got caught by the police. The dogs had basically on the job training because they went after the criminals. Bit one in the ass and the other 2 went running. So yeah, that's good. That's fucking hilarious in all honesty. Especially there's a sign outside that clearly states that that it's a training facility. Canine training facility on top of that. You broke into a police station essentially. But yeah, moving on. We're gonna go all the way to the other side of the world to Nigeria, as a Nigerian man played a mobile game Dream League Soccer 2023 for 75 consecutive hours. Um, for 75 consecutive hours, breaking a Guinness World Record. The record-keeping organization said Oside or Oseed Coded Oluwole broke the I'm pretty sure I butchered the shit out of that name. Broke the record for the longest video game marathon playing a soccer game, besting the 50-hour record set by Englishman David Whitefoot in 2022. Guinness said Oluwole is the first holder of the record to have used Dream League Soccer to seek the title, as previous holders have opted for, of course, FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer. Oluwole connected his iPhone to a TV screen for his gaming marathon, during which he was allowed a 5-minute break every hour and was allowed to bank his breaks for longer rest times. So basically, if he didn't have to go to the bathroom, um, or need a break 1 hour, he could put it for the next hour, so like 10 minutes or 50. It wasn't an easy task, but I must say it was all fun. Oluwole told Guinness World Records. It was such a great moment. The event was very interesting, and I'm grateful to God that it was successful. The honorable, oh good lord, Soon or Shun Adesanya, a member of the Ogun State House of Assembly, congratulated Oluwole in a news release. The Guinness World Records title is a testament to Mr. Oluwole's dedication, determination, and the countless hours of practice he invested in mastering the game. Adesanya wrote, his achievement stands as an inspiration to all aspiring gamers and an embodiment of the unyielding spirit of determination that drives our nation. So that's pretty damn awesome. He broke the record basically for, I don't know, but didn't really say if it's a video game marathon, or just in general, just playing soccer. Um, so yeah, that's cool as shit. That's just cool as shit. That's gonna do it for the silly news this week. There really isn't much. Everything I looked up was the same shit that I saw last week. So we're going to move on to haunt news. What we'll do, which is probably gonna be a very short episode in all honesty. It's not a lot of news out there. Um, so we'll do what we can. But our haunt news this week. First, Universal Studios is back in the news. Universal Studios has announced that their new intellectual property maze opening at both Orlando and Hollywood for this year. They basically announced they're opening a new maze. It's intellectual property. Um, delve deeper into the paranormal dimension of tortured souls and demonic entities as Universal brings you Insidious: The Further. Inspired by the successful Insidious film franchise from Blumhouse Productions, would you cooperate? In association with Sony Pictures, guests will step through the iconic red door and follow in the footsteps of the Lambert family into the ethereal place where ghosts and demons lurk. Encountering familiar settings and scares from the films. Halloween Horror Nights run select nights August 30th through November 3rd in Orlando and September 5th through November 3rd in Hollywood. Tickets are on sale now. I know they're going fast. Last I heard, they are going very fast. But yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Insidious is an interesting choice, especially unless they can. I don't know if they have an Insidious movie coming out or not. But yeah, that's an interesting choice for an intellectual property haunt. I like the classic movies myself. I'm not a big Insidious fan, but uh, yeah. But staying in Universal Orlando though, Universal Orlando announced a new scare zone for Halloween Horror Nights called Torture Fair. They announced it on social media. The post reads, "Come one, come all to the Renaissance Fair with the devious theme of medieval torture. Brave the gloriously gory homemade torture devices till you're put out of your misery." So it sounds like that scare zone's just going to be a scare zone dedicated to the Renaissance Fair, and I guess make your own medieval torture device. Sounds awesome. That's actually very creative. That's God. Why has nobody done a hunt on that like that before? Jeez, that's pretty sweet. Honestly, I love that idea. But yeah, Universal Studios, they always put on a great show. They always have great sets, great acting, great makeup and everything. So it's gonna be a fun time no matter what. And I don't think what they put in, like, what intellectual property or whatever, is gonna make a difference. Really, there's people are still gonna go. People are still going to buy tickets, and yeah. Moving on, we're gonna leave the warmth of sunny Central Florida, and we are going all the way to New England, to Bartlett, New Hampshire, where Storyland is debuting a new Halloween event this fall. Happy Hauntings will take place on Saturday, October 5th and Sunday, October 27th. The event will feature an interactive fairy tale, trick or treat trail, pumpkin painting, in Cinderella's Pumpkin Patch Halloween shows with villains, a bubble dance party, and friendly rotating activities including karaoke and scream contests. Happy Hauntings is included with the theme park ticket. Tickets and passes are on sale now, starting at $39.99 for a single day. Um, so Storyland, to my knowledge, it's more of like a family park, like almost like for kids. Um, and it says they're only holding 2 days. I don't know how true that is. Looking at the website, it really doesn't tell me anything more than that. But um, yeah, I swear to God, it's probably the 5th through the 27th. In all honesty, we'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun for kids, though. A whole day of pretty much everything focused on them. I know the haunted hayride I used to work at back in Virginia during the day would have like a Halloween festival where you'd have like carnival rides, we could have pony rides, our farm market which sold like fall mums, caramel apples, and things like that. And they also did had like different vendors. Like a friend of mine, his family came out and would sell their fudge covered apples. Um, at the event, and it would just be like the petting zoo would be open, hay rides around the farm, and then by 6 o'clock we opened at 7. Um, but about 7 o'clock we would start our haunted hay ride. And all the carnival rides and everything up front would still be open except for the petting zoo. They'd have to close the petting zoo because needless to say, the animals need to sleep, and that was the queue line for our haunted corn maze. Um, But yeah, it was a great time for kids. We used to actually what they used to do as well. They used to have a haunted house would come in, or not a haunted house. The schools, that's what it is. The schools would come out to our pumpkin patch every year, and they would be like the kids would come out, get to take a hay ride, go to the petting zoo, and then they would get to pick a pumpkin out of the pumpkin patch. They did it for all the local elementary schools in Virginia Beach, which there's a shit ton. And I don't know if they did Norfolk and Chesapeake and that. I know almost all like, and it's usually like kindergarten through third grade or something like that. Like after that, they really didn't bring them. But yeah, it's always a fun time, especially for kids. More of these places. I think even haunts need to start doing like something for kids. There's a ton of kids out there, and there's money. There's money there. But moving on, we are now going to go from New England all the way across the pond to the Netherlands for Efteling, because Efteling has set a date for the grand opening of their new I'm gonna butcher these, Danse Danse Macabre ride, October 31st, 2024. 2 years in the making, Danse Macabre boasts a unique ride system by Intamin, where guests will sit on one of 6 choir stalls on top of turntables that spin, rise, tilt, and fall to the classic Danse Macabre by French composer Camille Saint-Saëns. Sans? I am very bad at names. See a new behind-the-scenes video. Behind-the-scenes video on the theme park's official YouTube channel. And then from the park website, this is basically how it describes the ride. Uh, in the fall of 2024, Efteling will open an attraction where on the site where the Spook Slot haunted house used to be, where you'll be scared like never before. Danse Macabre. Enter the thrilling waiting journey and find your way to the Abbey. Take a seat in one of the choir pews and experience a never before seen ghostly spectacle set to macabre music. The attraction will become part of the Hoiverwood, Wildwood, where you'll also find dining locations like Inden Zwarte Kat. Sorry, guys, I am not Dutch. I can't speak this. And the Koitsus, a souvenir shop and matching entertainment. One second. Uh, so yeah, basically it's a brand new ride. It seems to be set to a classical composition. I'll have to look that up here in a little bit and see what the song is. Probably a song that I know, that I've hummed before and that. Not big on classical music, at least not like educated enough on classical music to be able to tell you what it is. But yeah, I mean the Netherlands bringing back stuff like that. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. Intamin makes great rides too. So, but moving on, back here in California, Big Top Terror was announced for this year's the Queen Mary's Dark Harbor in Long Beach. This carnival is no ordinary circus. It's a trap, a deadly labyrinth designed to ensnare the souls of the innocent. With the hypnotic charisma and enhancing performances, the ringmaster lures the unsuspecting into this dark maze where doom awaits amongst their sinister collection of cursed objects. Tickets for the Queen Mary's Dark Harbor are not yet on sale. Um, so yeah, it's not on sale yet. They're still, I think, working out the kinks in that. But this actually comes from the website though, or from their Instagram. Maze announcement: step right up and uncover the terrors that lurk within the shadows of Big Top Terror. This carnival is no ordinary circuit. Then exactly what I just read. Lures you into the dark maze where doom awaits. Proudly displayed within the circus is the ringmaster's sinister collection of cursed objects amassed over the ages. Will you face the darkness this fall? But then, like on their Instagram page, it says get discount pre-sale tickets and updates at darkharborhalloween.com. So if you're in California and you're interested in seeing this, go to darkharborhalloween.com. Find out when they're selling stuff. Find out, um, when they're starting to sell tickets and everything like that. I'll have to sign up for that just to get the news and that. Um, well, yeah, that sounds. I love clown. At least say I love clowns. I love clowns involved in haunted houses, and especially if they're going to be done. Do a story. An original story for your clowns, and you'll have a great time. You'll have a great time. You'll have a great customer base, and it'll be great. Moving on again. We're just flying through these news stories. Down south to Charleston, South Carolina, where Southern Screams will return to Holy City Brewing for 27 nights this Halloween season with an all-new haunted attraction, Conjured. Venture into the heart of darkness where ancient practices and the occult intertwine. You're the final ingredient needed for the summoning ritual. Will you escape the grip of the spirit world, or will your soul be claimed forever? 2024 marks our third season at Holy City Brewing, and this year's attraction, Conjured, promises to deliver our most terrifying and thrilling experience yet, said Joseph Spiota, Director of Talent and Operations at Southern Screens. We continue to develop creative ways to ensure our guests are transported into a new world of nightmares, and this year does not disappoint. Come celebrate spooky season with us, where you can eat, drink, and be scary, all in one location. The event runs Wednesdays through Sundays, September 27th through November 2nd. Tickets are on sale now, starting at $20.99 for general admission, $35.99 for rest and peace access. New for 2024 is a behind the screens ticket option on select nights that includes a unique backstage tour and Q&A with the masterminds behind the haunt. They have several special events listed as well. Of course, the behind the scenes tour. The Screams ticket offers exclusive behind the scenes access to Southern Screams, including Rest in Peace access, a backstage tour, Q&A with the creators, and more. And they're only available select nights only. Pride Night, Wednesday, October 9th. A lot more haunts are starting to do this. And if you ever worked in a haunt or you know anything about the haunt industry, the haunt industry itself is a very LGBTQ friendly industry. Um, so yeah, it doesn't shock me. They're doing a Pride Night on October 9th. Um, the haunt that I work at too also does a Pride Night. I don't exactly know the date. The Hell's Dungeon, but Hell's Dungeon does do a Pride Night every year. But come celebrate Pride and National Coming Out Day with us, where a portion of all tickets will be donated to the AFFA and We Are Family. Wear your pride colors, and then wear your pride colors. And then their final event of the season, Lights Out, November 1st and 2nd. Most haunts do a Lights Out, especially after the season. They want to open that last weekend, November 1st and 2nd. Like we did a Lights Out tour one night, and then the very next night we did it was called Chaos Night. I can't remember what it was called. Raz will be able to tell you what it was called. But we basically you went through the haunt backwards. Where you started at the finale and then you made it all the way to the front. That whole weekend, like all of us moved locations. We were in different scenes and everything. It was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun. But yeah, for their Lights Out, welcome to the darkness, where your group will navigate through our haunted house with nothing but a lantern to light your way. That's a lot more than a lot of these haunts give you. We gave you a light stick. But for the most part, you can see a lot of in our haunts, especially in a lot of haunts too. It's an indoor haunt that does Lights Out. The exit signs will kind of light your way. The fire exit signs. But can you survive the unknown lurking in the shadows? So yeah, I mean that sounds awesome. I'd love to visit Charleston as it is. It's a very haunted city. It is a very historical city. I'm a history buff, so I would just absolutely love to visit Charleston one day. But and if I ever did, I would definitely go. I would definitely go check that out because that sounds fun. Um, a haunted house and a brewery sounds like a lot of fun, especially because I love my beer. I'm I'm a borderline alcoholic, and it just seems like fun times. But moving on, we are now going to travel across the country to Salt Lake City, Utah, where Fear Factory, LSLC, will conduct casting calls and customer service interviews on July 27th, August 10th, 24th, and the 31st. Opportunities include scare acting, safety, security, ticketing, retail, concessions, and more. Fear Factory SLC operates select nights from September 6th through November 2nd. Interested individuals can fill out an application online in advance. It's that time of year, guys. It's that time of year. Everyone's hiring. If you or anywhere near a haunted house, if you have a haunted house in your city, in your location, anywhere basically, go apply. If you're interested in acting, go. Just go do it. I say it every week. Just go. No one, you probably will not be turned down. They will find somewhere for you, somewhere or something for you to do. You don't have to be amazing at acting. I'm not that great of an actor. I've been in a couple of movies, but in both movies that I've been in, I've been extras. I'm not a great actor, but if you are interested in working at a haunted house, go try out. It's a lot of fun. You make a lot of friends, and it again, they very rarely turn people away. Um, but also moving to Buffalo, New York, Fright World is also hiring for the 2024 season. Open positions include scare actors, queue line entertainers. I love doing queue lines. I miss doing the queue line. Ticket takers, event staff, concessions, merch, maintenance, and makeup artists. Open auditions and interviews will be held from on August 23rd through the 25th. No experience required. So yeah, I mean, like I said, you don't need experience. Go. If you want to be in a haunted house, just go do it. Don't question yourself, just go. Now we are going to move down to Virginia, Williamsburg, Virginia, one of my old stomping grounds, one of my favorite theme parks, because this is my home park, the park that I grew up going to and spent most of my life going to. Busch Gardens Williamsburg has finally began announcing some of their they did announce a few of their mazes, shows, and scare zones. Give me 1 second. Bring up the website. Um, they open in 49 days, September 6th. Um, if you go to some of the websites too, we'll talk about that here. We'll talk about that here in a minute because we're gonna talk about Busch Gardens Tampa's having a sale right now, but it doesn't look like it's the sale applies to Williamsburg, but that the reason being for that is with Williamsburg, your admission to Hollow Scream comes with your ticket to the park. They don't make you buy a whole new ticket just to come to Hollow Scream, like Universal Studios does for Halloween Horror Nights or Busch Gardens Tampa Bay does for their Hollow Scream event. But Busch Gardens Hollow Scream returns this fall in full force, celebrating 25 years of fear with all new scares taking over the entire park with 5 haunted houses, 6 territories, and 4 sinister shows, and more. Unsuspecting horrors await their victims at every turn. Plus, guests can test their thrill threshold with 9 world-class coasters at night, offering a completely different ride experience. Parental discretion is advised after 6 p.m., as this year's event contains amplified scares that are not recommended for children. So let's do this. Haunted houses and territories. One, two haunted houses that are all new. They haven't announced yet. 1 revamp, 2 revamp. They haven't announced. 3 revamp. They haven't announced any of their haunted houses yet. As for territories, there's 2 that they haven't announced yet that I'm going to assume are new ones. Ripper Row. That's basically when you first. The thing about Busch Gardens Williamsburg is they're focused. They used to be called the Old Countries. What they used to, used to be called back in the 80s and 90s growing up, because you're going to Europe. You have the lands they have. They have England, Scotland, Ireland, Germany, France, Italy, and then Festa Italia. I don't know if I'm missing one, but I don't think I am. Ripper Row is basically as you first walk in, you walk through England. When you first walk in, it's a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants. You have the Globe Theater on the left. You have Big Ben, which is where everybody meets up. But what they do there is they do Ripper Row. Don't wander the streets of Whitechapel after dark. You never know who you might run into. Murder, mayhem, and mistaken identities abound in the back alleys of this English town. Basically, it is Jack the Ripper based themed. They used to do a haunted house for it too, but Now it's just the territory. So it was always fun when I went. Might be still fun. Um, the next territory, Fest Evil. That's a returning favorite, of course. The spirits of the swamp spill into the streets, lured by the echoes of excitement during a marvelous Mardi Gras party. Watch out. These frightening forces have been corrupted by an evil energy. That sounds like the Bayou. It almost looking at the roller coaster in the background. You gotta remember, I haven't been to Busch Gardens in at least 10 years. Haven't been to their Halloween stuff in almost 11. I've lived here in Ohio for 11 years now. Um, but it looks like it's in the Festa Italia section of the park, which is going to be the back area. Um, so that looks pretty sweet though, the picture. Gorgon Gardens. Don't look too closely. Staring straight into the soulless eyes of these serpent sisters leads to venomous consequences and a stone cold eternity. There's no escaping these sinister sirens once you've been added to their succulent garden of souls. If I had to guess, that's going to be in the garden where the Da Vinci stuff is. They have an entire section of Italy devoted to Leonardo da Vinci's inventions, and it's like a garden. So to me, that seems like it's going to be what the garden is. Now, for Gorgons, needless to say, for those who don't know, a Gorgon is basically what Medusa from Greek mythology is, or Roman mythology is. One of the sirens that basically you look into their eyes, you turn into stone. So yeah, that's the theme to that one. And finally, Scary Tale Road. Once upon a time, these fairy tale fantasies lured you to sleep with picturesque places and harmonious heroes. Survival is slim as these childhood icons have been ripped from the pages and are now haunting your dreams. I can't tell where that's going to be. But yeah, the territories are always fun. It's always fun because you just walk through, and just get different. It's different for every time you go through. Um, but moving on, we're going to move over to the sinister shows from Howl the Scream this year. All new Fiends the Frequel. This is Fiends of the Fest House, is what that is. It's in, if I had to guess, it's probably going to be in the Fest House, which at one point was and it might still be, largest indoor restaurant in the world, located in Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. It's German themed. It's got amazing food, especially if you like German food. You could also get like your typical theme park fare, your pizza, hot dogs, chicken tenders, fries, all that good stuff. But you could also get like German food, like my wife when we went a few years ago. It was about 8 years ago. I think it was 2016. We went. We went and had the German food. I had like the bratwurst sampler, which I love me some German sausage. And she had, I think she had the same thing, but she had the red cabbage with it. I didn't get red cabbage because I don't like cabbage, and she loved it. She said it was one of the. She said it was seasoned properly. Is one of the only times that it's some of the best cabbage she's ever had, basically. So the food's amazing. But they used to do Fiends of the Fest House. They did a sequel, and I guess now they're bringing it back for the prequel. Returning from a long hiatus inside Transylvanian Castle, Dr. Frankenstein wants to reintroduce himself to the world in the only way he knows how, a Hollywood-style blockbuster about his life. With the help of his trusted sidekick Igor, the Doctor invites each of his iconic friends, Wolfman, Dracula, the Bride, and the Creature of the Black Lagoon, to join his filmmaking festivities in a pop culture-centric song and dance extravaganza. So basically, it's a story with a bunch of like songs and people singing and stuff like that. When they did this originally, they had these nurses standing outside of the fest house, handing out, or selling, I guess you could say, very scantily clad, bra open, shirt open. You can see the bra. skirt so short you can see their panties or the shorts they had underneath it. Um, and they were giving out these syringe shots that you could buy for like $5. I did not get one because I was driving that night. I wish I would have. I also at the time didn't realize I'd be moving to Ohio very soon. But yeah, it's fun. That was it was the original one was pretty fun to watch. This will probably be pretty fun, especially if you like the music in that. Um, Monster Stomp on Ripper Road. So I believe in the Globes Theater, you're going to get Monster Stomp. Monster Stomp at originally was one of the most popular shows at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Um, it was awesome. It was basically think of the old show Stomp, where they would they would use different like household things. They would stomp, the stomp. You had the stomp team, but then they would like use like brooms or 2x4s and things that basically make music with their feet and then just bang it on stuff. This is that. It's got like modern rock and some songs in it. But then they also use like like a butcher's table and knives to do the stomp, the percussion and stuff like that. It's freaking awesome. It was always awesome. But this modern rock and rhythm spectacular features Jack the Ripper like you've never seen him before. Monster Stomp on Ripper Row opens September 26th. God, they're opening it late. Um, oh wow, Fiends is not going to be in the Fest House because the next show, Phantoms of the Fest House, is going to be in the Fest House. I don't know where Fiends is going to be. Huh. This isn't your typical singing contest. Join the living audience as a new lineup of your favorite ghouls take on spooky hits, and the winner is put to vote. The most spirited the audience is, the more spirited the audience is, the more exciting the competition is. So basically, it's almost like a singing competition where the audience gets to choose who wins. Um, the whole thing's probably staged except for who's going to win. Skeletones. This lively brass quartet leaves nothing but bones on San Marco stage in Festa Italia. I know exactly where that is, and it shocks me a little bit because they usually just show movies on there. But yeah, it's I haven't seen that one before, but I would assume it kind of almost looks like a Days of the Dead style, which is weird because it's in Italy. Um, but yeah, some great shows. Busch Gardens always puts on some great shows at Halloween time. I used to love going to see them. Let's see the experiences. We have Sinister Smiles photo opportunities, Sinister Shopping, killer deals and upgrades. Uh, for the Hollow Scream Haunted House Quick Queue. To get to the scares faster for day one with one-time priority access to all haunted houses if you dare. Basically, it's $69. You spend the $69, you get to go to each haunt one time and use it. Kind of worth it. It gets really busy. Hollow Scream Quick Queue Unlimited. So basically, for $99, you get unlimited access to the haunts. You get to all haunted houses, Alpengeist, Apollo's Chariot, Finnegan's Flyer, Griffin, Pantheon, and Verbolten, plus a one-time access to Invader, Tempesto, Dark Coaster, and newly reopened Loch Ness Monster. Okay, you probably won't need the fast pass for the roller coasters because if people are going to Hollow Scream, they're going for the haunts, not the roller coasters. So yeah, but that's Hollow Scream in Williamsburg. Looking forward to seeing videos again. I doubt I'll be going there. But Hollow Scream, and it was one of my favorite events out there. It was the thing about Busch Gardens Williamsburg is it's a theme park, but it's not your typical one. They create an atmosphere, and I can't explain the atmosphere. It could be because again I grew up going there, but um, it's fun. It's just a lot of fun. Moving on. We're still staying at Busch Gardens, but now we're going down south back to Florida for Busch Gardens Tampa Bay as they are holding their sinister sale with up to 70% off tickets to Hollow Scream. Single night tickets start at $32.99. Again, you need a separate ticket to go to Hollow Scream at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. So a single night ticket starts at $32.99 where basically you can visit on select nights between September 6th and November 2nd. My guess would be not on weekends. Any night tickets start at $54.99, which is 60% off. Basically, where you get to choose any night you want to go. There's no blackout dates. You can go any night you want for $54.99. You can buy 2 park tickets to Busch Gardens and SeaWorld. They start at $94.99, which is 50% off the original price. Unlimited admission tickets, basically for the whole season, start at $109.99. So basically, that's almost like a season pass just to Hollow Screen. Great things happening out there. So we're going to go ahead and take a break real quick, and we're going to come back with our horror movie news. It'll be a horror movie news segment, and we'll see where we go from there. Again, unfortunately, there is no movie this week because I didn't do the research on the movie. Well, guys, we'll be right back.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Reductibus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Well, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Reductibus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Door King Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Octopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
And welcome back. Once again, guys, welcome to the Bloody Binge Movie Podcast. I am your host, Sewer Dweller. This week is going to be a news-only episode because, like I said earlier, I've not had a great day. My podcasting headphones have broke. I'm literally holding the piece to my ear to do this episode so that I can actually talk into the microphone. Not only that, I failed you guys. I didn't do the research on the movie last week that I chose for this week, and didn't realize that Full Moon pulled a fast one over my eyes. And what they do is they make like almost like trailer movies, And usually you can spot them. Usually you can tell they have the same poster. Well, for this one, they did the same thing, except they named it a Christmas one and started showing clips of like the Ginger Dead Man, Killjoy, and things like that. So I was not able to do the movie because, like I said, I cannot figure out a way to do the movie and then bring it to you guys to be entertaining enough. So I decided to just go ahead and cancel, or not really cancel, but postpone the Christmas in July episode until next week. I'll choose another Christmas horror movie. I love Christmas horror as it is, so I'm not complaining about that. But now we've already done our haunt movie news. We've done our stupid news for the week. Let's go ahead and start on our horror movie news. There's a lot this week, I guess you could technically say. Let's start out honestly with something that just recently got announced. Bob Newhart. For those who don't know, Bob Newhart is an iconic um, actor. You've seen iconic, or you've seen Bob Newhart, Professor Proton on on The Big Bang Theory. He was there for 6 episodes. He had his own TV show at one point. He was a stand-up comedian. If you've seen the movie Elf, uh, he was Papa Elf. Um, In and Out, The Simpsons. I mean, you name it, he was probably in it. The Alfred Hitchcock Hour. Um, so much stuff. Very funny guy. Apparently, I guess he passed away yesterday. Um, so rest in peace, Bob Newhart. We are going to miss the stare, the straight. Basically, he was a really good straight guy. When it comes to comedy. But Bob Newhart, rest in peace. There have been a lot of deaths this month, and it sucks. It really does. Um, I've actually got a list for this month. It's been a bad month for Hollywood, losing people. Let's see. Let's start down here at the bottom. American Idol alum, Grammy winner Mandisa passed away this month. Lord of the Rings and Titanic actor Bernard Hill, which if I remember right, Bernard Hill, I believe, played God, what's his name? I know it. Where is it? Gimli, I think. Nope. Theoden, the King of Rohan, actually. I thought it was why did I think he was Gimli? Um he basically played the King of Rohan. He passed away. Grease actress Susan Buckner passed away this month. Susan Button wasn't really I don't remember anything else she was in. In Grease, she's the nerdy chick in the original Grease. If you saw her, you'd know her. Um, Donald Sutherland passed away a couple weeks ago. Dirty Dozen, Hunger Games, couple of horror. I think he played Dracula a couple of times. Shifty Shellshock from Crazy Town uh, passed away this month. Bill Cobbs. Now, this one I think messed up my wife because I think she thought Bill Cosby died. But no, Bill Cobbs, who was a much better person than Bill Cosby is, passed away. If you've seen a movie, you've probably seen Bill Cobbs in it. Some of his more famous roles, Demolition Man. He played the older gentleman who remembered who Sylvester Stallone's character was. I can't remember his name in the movie. The People Under the Stairs. He played the grandfather of the kid that broke in. I love People Under the Stairs. Uh, I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorite Wes Craven movies. Um, like he's been in so much over the years. Let's see, 195 credits. Um, I want to say he was actually in one of the Tales from the Hood movies. Demolition Man, Bodyguard, People Under the Stairs, New Jack City. Going down. I guess maybe he wasn't. I thought he was in one of the. I thought he was in the original. Tales from the Hood with Ernie Hudson, but I guess he wasn't. See if he's in the second one. Maybe in the second one. Second one was actually pretty good if you watch it. Night at the Museum. Um, play one of the older guys that retiring. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. But yeah, if you know who if you've seen Bill Cobbs, if you've seen him, you would be like, oh, that guy. He's basically the definition of a that guy actor. But he was awesome in everything he was in. Martin Mull from Clue and Arrested Development. I remember him most from Roseanne, of course. Robert Towne, the Oscar-winning director of Chinatown, died. John Landau from Titanic and Avatar. The son from Alf passed away. Shelley Duvall, of course. Again, horror movie fans are mourning because Shelley Duvall passed away last week. From The Shining, of course. And if you ever get a I guess a bug up your ass, or you want to look into it, look at the stories of how Stanley Kubrick had Jack Nicholson treat her on the set. Like he basically completely ignored her, intimidated her, all that good stuff before the big scene at the end where she's supposed to be scared of him. To where apparently she was genuinely terrified of Jack Nicholson by the time they got around for doing the scene. And then this past weekend, Richard Simmons, someone we haven't heard from in years, passed away. I know there's been a lot of controversy around him these past few years, as his family accused his wife, his housekeeper, of brainwashing him and kidnapping him and everything. He's basically been in seclusion for a while now, but he passed away at the age of 76. One of the ones that shocked me, Shannon Doherty, 90210 star. I believe she was in some Kevin Smith movies. I want to say she was in Charmed, of course. Hold on, let me bring up her IMDb because this article's not going to say much about her. I want to say she was in Mallrats. Was never a big fan of hers. I know she. I remember her in Heathers. I loved Heathers. Yeah, she was in Mallrats. Heathers. Like she got this. She got to doing a few more things lately. I know she was always notoriously hard to work with from what a lot of people said. Parker Lewis Can't Lose, 21 Jump Street, like an episode of that, an episode of Parker Lewis Can't Lose, Heathers, Naked Gun 33 and a third. Like, there's been a lot of stuff that she was in. Her most famous role, of course, was Beverly Hills 90210 and one of the original sisters in Charmed. But she passed away last week I want to say breast cancer. And of course, Jacoby Jones just recently passed away at the age of 40. I don't think they have a cause of death for him yet, but yeah, it's been a sad month. A lot of celebrity deaths, but let's bring it up. Let's bring it up a little bit. For those who don't pay attention too much to it, Comic-Con is next. I believe next week. San Diego Comic-Con, which is one of the biggest conventions of the year, whether it be for comic books or the movie industry. So what someone's doing is this year marks the 20-year anniversary of Edgar Wright's cult classic horror comedy Shaun of the Dead, and Focus Features is celebrating with a special immersive pop-up experience at San Diego Comic-Con next week. An unforgettable homage to the iconic zombie movie, The Shaun of the Dead pop-up promises to transport visitors directly into the hilariously twisted universe of the film. Located at 520 Fifth Avenue, the space is open to the public from Thursday, July 25th through Sunday, July 28th. Thursday through Saturday, the pop-up is open from noon to 6 and noon to 4 on Sunday. Fans will be able to explore a meticulously crafted set recreation of the Winchester Tavern, interactive photo ops, a complimentary can of themed beer courtesy of Beer Zombies. You must be 21, of course. Exclusive merch, game demos, and giveaways. One of the highlights of the experience will be the chance for guests to be among the first in the world to play the Shaun of the Dead inspired level of the upcoming co-op action game FuncoVision. Developed by 1010 Games, this exclusive sneak peek comes ahead of the game's global release this fall. Pre-orders for physical console editions of the game are currently available at select global retailers and digital distribution partners. Guests 21 and up will receive a complimentary can of beer of the Winchester Plan, available while supplies last and courtesy of Beer Zombies Brewing Company. The Winchester Plan is a beer for when your town is inexplicably overrun with zombies. A European-style lager crafted with the finest malt and noble hops. Delivering a smooth, refreshing taste, the Winchester Plan is perfectly balanced with a mild bitterness and a clean finish. It's the ideal beer for any occasion, including saving the town. The Shaun of the Dead pop-up experience is free to attend, but due to anticipated demand, guests are required to make reservations for specific time slots to gain entry. Focus Insiders will have first access to reserving a time slot beginning July 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, that is. Reservation slots will open to the public on July 17th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. There will be a standby line to accommodate walk-ups. So yeah, that sounds awesome. I love Shaun of the Dead. That sounds like an amazing time. Be prepared next week, especially if you are at all into any kind of movies or video games or comics, of course, or TV shows and that. This is when all these big companies make a lot of their big announcements. Especially the movie companies. That's why you really can't get tickets to San Diego Comic-Con unless you're really on the ball. Because of how many celebrities are there. A lot of shit goes on, and it's a great time. But at the end of the day, if you're not famous or you don't work for the TV company, you're probably not. It's really, really, really fucking hard to get tickets. But yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I love Shaun of the Dead. I would love to go to this thing. Unfortunately, again, money and time is not going to allow me, but I will eventually get there. Hopefully, I can. I have some plans in the future for this channel, for the Bloody Binge, and for my YouTube channel. And that I got some plans. I got some stuff in the works. We'll see if it actually takes fruition, but I got some ideas. But moving on, based on the popular video games, the Halo series premiered on Paramount Plus back in 2022, with the second season arriving earlier this year. But unfortunately, season 2 will be the show's final season. We've learned tonight that Paramount Plus has officially canceled the series after 2 seasons. The series is currently being shopped elsewhere, reportedly with approval from Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus said in a statement tonight, "We are extremely proud of this ambitious series and would like to thank our partners at Xbox 343 Industries and Amblin Television, along with showrunner and executive producer David Weiner, his fellow executive producers, the entire cast led by Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief, and the amazing crew for all their outstanding work. We wish everyone the best going forward. We deeply appreciate the millions of fans who propelled the Halo series to be a global success, and we remain committed to broadening the Halo universe in different ways in the future." A statement from 343 Industries reads, We are grateful to Amblin and Paramount for their partnership in bringing our expansive sci-fi universe to viewers around the world. Pablo Schreiber from American Gods starred in the short-lived streaming series as Master Chief, a member of a group of super soldiers known as Spartans, with Jen Taylor reprising her role from the video game series as Master Chief's AI companion Cortana. Produced by 343 Industries and Amblin Television, the series sees an epic 26th century conflict between humanity and an alien threat known as the Covenant. I can honestly say I've not watched the show. Um, One of the biggest reasons being I never got into Halo because I wasn't an Xbox. I never in my life have I owned an Xbox. Um, I'm a PlayStation guy. I just always have not. I don't diss anybody who has an Xbox. I don't diss Xbox in general. It's a fine machine. I use one of their controllers when I'm playing. I use an Xbox controller when I'm playing video games on the computer. But I don't. I like my PlayStation. I always have, and I probably always will. And yeah. So needless to say, I haven't watched the series. I haven't played the game. Um, but yeah, that's sad. It's always sad to see a series go, but I can't tell you if it was any good or not because, like I said, I haven't watched it. But moving on, via his production company, 18 Hertz Productions, Walter Hamada is slated to produce several mid-budget horror films for Paramount Pictures per year, with director Johannes Roberts on board to direct a horror movie titled Primate for the company. Additionally, Deadline reports that Paramount has picked up a spec script titled Familiar for 18 Hertz to produce as well. Julian Magnet, Faces in the Crowd, is the writer of the horror/thriller spec script, which surrounds a single mother who inadvertently invites an evil entity into her home. Stay tuned for more as we learn it, blah, blah, blah. Hamada, who recently left Warner Brothers Discovery, has a ton of horror cred from his time at New Line, producing countless horror movies, including the Friday the 13th and a Nightmare on Elm Street remakes, as well as The Conjuring and its various spin offs, and the 2017 adaptation of It. So that's a big loss. That's a big loss, but it's not a shock. Warner Brothers is cleaning house right now. They just fired like a thousand, I think it was 100 or 1,000, I can't remember, of their employees. They just laid them off. And it just, I know that Warner Brothers itself has gone away from scripted television, um, and they want to focus on that. But I also think they're trying to merge with Paramount. If I last I had heard, or at least they're trying to find somebody to merge with their Paramount. I know Warner Brothers is struggling. That's the thing. Warner Brothers Pictures is struggling. It's one of the oldest companies in the world, like in America, oldest movie companies in America. So it'll be sad to see it go. Um, but if things stay the way they are, they probably don't got too much longer from the sound of it. Um, but yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. Um, almost closed out. That would not have been good. Almost closed out the stream. Am I muted? Well, that was weird. Something happened with that. Hold on. There we go. Now I got it fixed. So yeah. Moving on. Now I hear myself. See if I can fix this now. Hello? There we go. I think I got it fixed now. Sorry about that. Something weird happened. Uh, but moving on. And there we go. Make sure I can hear myself. I cannot hear myself. Great. So moving on, we have the Chainsaw Awards on Fangoria have been listed or been announced. Um, so let's go over the categories in the movies. Achievement and nonfiction. The nominees are Amityville: An Origin Story, The Boulet Brothers: Dragula Season 5, The Enfield Poltergeist, Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, and Sven Gulli gets a nomination. That's awesome. I like the Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. I don't know many people who don't, but yeah, that I think he deserves to win it. Sven Gulli deserves to win it just because he's been around forever. The other three I haven't really watched. I'm not a big fan of Amityville. I like I like the cheesy Amityville movies they put out. But at the end of the day, no, I just no, no, no. I don't necessarily know if I believe the story or not. So we'll probably do something on that. The Enfield Poltergeist, I probably need to watch that because I like the story. The Enfield Poltergeist is one of those strange um stories where it's very hard to not believe it. But yeah, if it was my choices, I'd vote for Joe Bob or Sven Gulli on that one. Moving on, best cinematography: The First Omen, Aaron Morton. I Saw the TV Glow, Eric Ku. In a Violent Nature, Pierce Dirks. I still gotta watch that. Infinity Pool for Kareem Hussein and Poor Things, Robbie Ryan. Best costume design. I'm just gonna read the movies and I'm not gonna read the people's names because I know I'm gonna butcher a lot of these names. I'll do what I can, but best costume design for The First Omen, Paco Delgado. Immaculate, Lisa Criscioli. Late Night with the Devil, Steph Hook. Lisa Frankenstein, Megan McLaughlin, and Poor Things, Holly Waddington. Best creature effects, Evil Dead Rise. That was such a good movie. Adam Johansson and Damian Martin from Odd Studio. Five Nights at Freddy's, Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Five Nights at Freddy's ended up being good. I've never played the game, never been interested in the game, but it was good. Last Voyage of the Demeter. I cannot say Goran Lundstrom, I think, but what a what a movie that was. That was a great movie. And Megan, Adrian Morrow, and Kathy C. Morrow FX Studios for the creature effects. I think Five Nights at Freddy's has that hands down, honestly. Uh, Best Director. Brandon Cronenberg for Infinity Pool. Lee Cronin for Evil Dead Rise. Danny and Michael Philippou Talk to Me. Damien Rugna, When Evil Lurks, and Arkasha Stevenson for The First Omen. That's up. That's up for anyone really. Best documentary feature. Dario Argento for Panico. The Legacy of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Satan Wants You. Sharksploitation, and We Kill for Love. Best First Feature. The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. Birth/Rebirth. It Lives Inside. Skinamarink. And Stop Motion. A lot of movies I've never even heard of, in all honesty, except for Skinamarink. I think we've all heard of Skinamarink. Best International Movie. The Coffee Table. Exuma. Infested. Was Sarah the Bone Woman, or When Evil Lurks? Best Lead Performance. I think these may be a couple years old. Tobin Bell for Saw 10. David Dastmalchian, Late Night with the Devil. Caitlin Dever, No One Will Save You. Nell Tiger Free, The First Omen. Catherine Newton, Lisa Frankenstein. Lupita Nyong'o, A Quiet Place Day 1. Emma Stone for Poor Things. Lily Sullivan, Evil Dead Rise. Sydney Sweeney, Immaculate. Sophie Wilde, Talk to Me. All very, very deserving folks up for that award. Best limited release. We have Cobweb. Ennis Men. I Saw the TV Glow. The Outwaters. Suitable Flesh. Best makeup effects. The nominees are Abigail, Liz Byrne, Paul Byrne, and Matthew Smith. Evil Dead Rise, Luke Pulte. In a Violent Nature, Stephen Kostansky. Talk to Me, Beck Barato, Paul Catt, and Nick Nicolau. When Evil Lurks, Marcos Berta. Best Score. Evil Dead Rise, the nominees are Evil Dead Rise, The First Omen, Godzilla -1, I Saw the TV Glow, and Infinity Pool. Best Screenplay nominees are First Omen, Infinity Pool, Late Night with the Devil, Megan, and Talk to Me. The movies are the only thing anybody cares about them. The people, it's awesome that they're up for awards, but like the First Omen has 1, 2, 3, 4 people nominated. And it would just take a long time to read all these names. Best streaming premiere nominees are No One Will Save You, Sick, Totally Killer, VHS 85, Where the Devil Roams. Best supporting performance. Dave Bautista, Knock at the Cabin. Joe Bird, Talk to Me. Nicolas Cage and Renfield. This tells me 100% that these are from last year as well. Nicolas Cage and Renfield. Mia Goth in Infinity Pool. Catherine Newton for Abigail. Bridget Lundy Payne for I Saw the TV Glow. Dwayne Perkins for The Blackening. Dan Stevens for Abigail. Alyssa Sutherland for Evil Dead Rise, and Alicia Weir for Abigail. Best TV Series. The nominees are Chucky, The Fall of the House of Usher, Interview with a Vampire, The Last of Us, and Yellow Jackets. I think Chucky runs away with that because they have a large fan base. Best video game: Alan Wake 2, Dead Space remake, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game. I have played that a couple of times. It's fun. It's just it takes me a while to get used to games. Resident Evil 4 remake and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, another game that I have that is fun. And finally, best wide release movie. The nominees are Abigail, Evil Dead Rise, The First Omen, Godzilla minus drop my mic. Godzilla minus one, Infinity Pool, Late Night with the Devil, Megan, Satanic Hispanics, Talk to Me When Evil Lurks. As per previous years, the highly competitive Best Kill category is a write-in vote. Congratulations to all the nominees. The 2024 Fangoria Chainsaw Award polls are now open. So basically, if you go to fangoria.com/vote, you can vote on who you think deserves to win the Chainsaw Awards this year for Fangoria. Always fun. I love award shows, and I like when you get to vote for award shows. Like when you start doing the shit with like the Academy and the Golden Globes and that. That's just bullshit. Hollywood elite, types voting and that. And I don't think you get honest. You don't get honesty with it. You really don't. So yeah, I like when fans get to choose it, but then it does still become a popularity contest in that, but it's still fun. Moving on, 8 years in, and Dead by Daylight is still ensuring that the game has a great deal of value to its loyal fans. To that end, one of the most requested features is finally coming to the popular online Kill or Be Killed game later this month. That's right, 2 versus 8 mode is finally upon us. Double the people, double the blood, double the fun. For the first time ever, 2 killers can team up to hunt 8 survivors, delivering a fresh and frantic take on gameplay for seasoned players. Dead by Daylight's 2v8 mode was officially announced during Behavior's 8th anniversary live stream earlier this year, I'm sorry, along with quite a bit else. So how is this new game mode going to work? The 2v8 trials will take place across 5 classic maps, each of which has been expanded to accommodate the action. Generators have also been doubled, and survivors now need to repair 8 of 13 to escape. Hooks and perks will not be included to keep the action flowing. Downed survivors will be sent directly to cages, while survivor perks will be replaced with a new class system designed to encourage teamwork with players to be able to adopt clear roles within a trial. Instead of classes, killers will be given alterations to their powers, as well as team-based ability to amplify their carnage. Also a big deal, cross progression is finally coming to the game on July 22nd. This has been a long requested feature. To get in on it, all players need is a behavior account and to own the base game on whichever platforms they wish to progress on. Dead by Daylight's website and social channels have also shared a chart outlining all performance platform specifics as well as an in-depth FAQ for players looking for further details. We've included. It is truly an exciting time to enjoy Dead by Daylight. In the immediate future, the game also has its party mode, which is available for a limited time from July 25th to August 8th. The Tomb Raider chapter was also recently released, bringing Lara Croft in on the action. Beyond that, the universe is expanding with several new games, including the casting of Frank Stone, which will be a single-player experience. It's due to hit shelves on September 3rd. A new mysterious shooter going under the name Project T is also in development. Dead by Daylight is available on console and PC. So that's exciting. 2B8 seems like it'll be fun. I've never really gotten into the Dead by Daylight. I should because I'd probably enjoy it, but I just haven't. Um, so yeah, that's something fun for gamers. But moving on, are you ready to reunite with your best friend? Not too much longer to wait, as Bloomhouse have today confirmed that principal photography has begun on Megan 2.0, the sequel to Gerard Johnstone and Akela Cooper's 2022 mega hit Megan. Megan 2.0 hits theaters on June 27th, 2025. Stars Allison Williams and Violet McGraw are back as for the sequel, as are Johnstone and Cooper as director and writer respectively, as well as James Wan's Atomic Monster and Jason Blum's Bloomhouse back as producers. Williams will also produce. In case you were under a rock all of 2022 and missed Megan and her iconic viral dance, the film followed toy company roboticist Gemma Williams, who develops a lifelike artificially intelligent doll who happens to be a Fangoria cover girl to help her recently orphaned 8-year-old niece Katie McGraw manage her grief with a brand new friend. Obviously, everything isn't as sweet as it seems. Also starring in Megan 2.0 is uh, Ahsoka breakout star Ivana Sakno. Deadline also reports today that Tim Sharp, Aristotle Athari, and Jermaine Clement, I guess it's Jermaine Clement, have joined the cast. Aside from Megan 2.0, the Tiny Terrors universe is already set to expand further with the recently announced spin-off Soulmate from You Are Not My Mother director Kate Dolan. In Soulmate, a man acquires an artificially intelligent android to cope with the loss of his recently deceased wife. In an attempt to create a truly sentient partner, he inadvertently turns a harmless love bot into a deadly soulmate. In a below tweet shared from Bloomhouse, we get a good look at the Megan animatronic in all her glory. Just dying to see you again on June 27th, 2025. That's just gonna be more money for Bloomhouse. People are gonna go see it. People are gonna love it. People love Megan. Um, which proved last year when Universal Studios had the Megan dancers out. There's so many videos of the Megan dancers, um, and their little quick dance routine. But it's fun. It'll be interesting. Moving on, one of the movies I'm looking forward to this year, as we inch closer to the much anticipated Terrifier 3 release date, tiny droplets of news have been trickling in for a parched Art the Clown fan base. We know the third installment of the movie of Damien Leone's Art the Clown antics was not the third. It's like the fifth. It's like the fifth movie Art the Clown's been in. Installment of Damien Leone's Art the Clown antics will be a Christmas slasher as Art terrorizes the residents of Miles County on Christmas Eve. We also know the returning cast includes David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown, Final Girl Lauren Lavera, Samantha Scafidi, Elliot Fulham, and AEW's Chris Jericho. Back in April, we learned Daniel Roebuck, from the Devil's Rejects and Halloween, would be joining the cast as Santa Claus, and it's been relatively quiet since, as Leone gets busy cutting it all together. But today brings new Terrifier 3 announcements. Art the Clown fans rejoice. Bloody Disgusting shared additional cast members Antonella Rose from Fear the Walking Dead, Chris Kersey Fox, KRSY, really? From Allegoria and Bury the Bride, John Abrams from House of Wax, and our favorite ice cream man, Clint Howard. The newly announced cast will be joining the aforementioned returning players along with Roebuck, FX legend Tom Savini, and the Lost Boys' Jason Patrick. The slasher sequel from writer-director Damien Leone hits theaters on October 11th via Cineverse, Bloody Disgusting, and Iconic Events releasing. I'm excited. I love the Art the Clown movies. I love Terrifier. I like the original too. Again, these Terrifier is not the first appearance of Art the Clown. If you already don't know, go back and watch Tales from Halloween. I think it's Tales from Halloween or something. Um, Art the Clown's literally on the freaking cover. So both of those, Tales from Halloween or yeah, I think it was Tales of Halloween, um, were his first appearances, not Terrifier. Terrifier just made him a household name. But moving on, Evil Dead legend and horror master Sam Raimi is set to direct and produce Send Help, a desert island set horror thriller for 20th Century Studios. Deadline, who reported the news exclusively earlier today, elaborated that the project is not yet officially greenlit by the studio, but is described as a two-hander set on an island with both comedic and thriller elements. The story is said to fall somewhere between Rob Reiner's Stephen King adaptation Misery and Robert Zemeckis' classic Castaway. Send Help is based on an original script by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift, both who wrote Freddy vs. Jason and 2009's Friday the 13th remake, and produced by Raimi and Zainab Azizi under Raimi Productions. Deadline also revealed the film is set to get a theatrical release, although so far have no further details on when this might be. Send Help will be Raimi's first time back in the directorial chair for a horror movie. Hold on. There we go. Yep. For a horror movie since 2009's Drag Me to Hell. His last directed feature was 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But that doesn't mean he's been absent from the game. He was, of course, executive producer on Lee Cronin's Evil Dead Rise and producer on this year's genre-bending Boy Kills World, which I still gotta watch. Raimi also took a producer role on Netflix's upcoming thriller Don't Move, and excitingly, the horror thriller Locked, starring Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins, which Deadline tells us is currently in post. There's also the as of now unnamed project between Raimi and Terrifier's Damien Leone to look forward to as well. While we'd obviously be set for anything Raimi puts his name on, a horror version of Castaway. I mean, that's the article saying that. I would definitely be there as well, though. That's my opinion as well. A horror version of Castaway sounds like the type of hilarious, twisted genius only he can bring. Yeah, I agree with that. I can agree with that. But yeah, I mean, it's Sam Raimi. Who's not going to go see that? Um, yeah, it's Sam Raimi. I mean, I'll go see it, especially if it's a horror version of Castaway. I'm there. I like Castaway. It was alright. It was a good movie. But yeah, Sam Raimi directing is going to be great. Moving on. Times have changed. No longer will you need to get an underground VHS copy of the cult movie Faces of Death at your video store. With a subscription to Shudder starting next month, you can just stream it at home with a click of a button. The 1978 shocker was banned in 46 countries, unquote, according to the tagline. It became a part of the UK's video nasty movement and wasn't available to watch in that country until 25 years later. Because of the graphic nature of the film, people had questions about the authenticity of the subject matter. The first Faces of Death was an aggregation of clips that were supposedly of real people facing gory, real life confrontations with mortality. A decade ago, iHorror ran an interview with Michael Felsher, who creates bonus content and special features for DVDs. He gave away a lot of the secrets in that article. He said in his research for Faces of Death, he met the movie's director, Conan Le not his real name. Times have changed. No longer will you need to get. Why did it repeat itself? Da, 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 da. He uncovered some interesting facts about Faces of Death and how genuine the death scenes are. There's a scene in the movie where a woman commits suicide from a building. She just jumps and hits the pavement. He said at the time, part of that is real. Her jumping is real. But then the rushing up to the body lying on the ground is fake. So they would take and augment existing footage to make the creative narrative around it and also sometimes to enhance the gore and shock aspect of it. Real or not, the movie caught on and it spawned several sequels. Although the subsequent films inspired curiosity, none of them were as culturally significant cinematically as the original. A meta-style reboot is currently in the works, starring Barbie Ferreira, Darcy or Dockery Montgomery, and Charlie XCX. IMDb says the new film follows a woman employed as a website content moderator comes across a series of violent videos reproducing death scenes from a film. Well, guess what? You can see all that shit on Twitter, on any of the social media now. You don't gotta look for a video. It's there. It's already there for you to see. Because people have phones and people whip them out at a second's notice. But yeah, there you go. If you're interested in seeing the original Faces of Death, it's getting ready to come to Shudder next month. Moving on. The long-awaited sequel, Beetlejuice, is nearly upon us. Although information has been slowly trickling in, we received a rather large update today. The MPA finally released the film's rating, allowing fans to glean just how gory this new film will be. And as expected, Beetlejuice will play up the family horror angle. The film has received a PG-13 rating for violent content, bloody imagery, strong language, and brief drug use. This makes sense as the Tim Burton film is finally remembered for its camp, not its gore. However, this rating does bump it up one notch over the original 1988 Beetlejuice film, but let's not pretend that the original Beetlejuice film wouldn't be PG-13. He literally grabs his crotch and says, "Nice fucking model." There's hookers. There's a brothel in the movie. It's a PG-13 movie, just listed PG. But one of the funny and one of the best things is when I worked at Blockbuster and I closed 4 stores, 6 stores with them, with Blockbuster at the time. As I did this, we got to play movies. We got to play certain movies during the day, and because we weren't going to play the trailers no more. The only rule is it had to be a PG movie. Well, I had Beetlejuice, so Beetlejuice went in. The scene went over the store, the nice fucking model scene, and people heard it. But although this doesn't offer as much insight, it does let us know it is mildly more graphic than the original. No, it doesn't, because again, the original would be PG-13 if it was released today, and not the lapsed standards we had back then. We're a lot more prudish and stuck up today than we were back in 1988. If you haven't already, make sure you to check out the trailer and original synopsis, blah blah blah, or the film below, official synopsis. I haven't watched the trailer. I just watched it. We went to the movies this past week to see Twisters. Me and the wife did, and they did have the trailer in it. And I do my best. I've been doing my best to avoid the trailers for Beetlejuice. But yeah, it looks like a great movie. But after an unexpected family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return from home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her rebellious teen daughter Astrid discovers the mysterious model of the town in the attic and the portal to the afterlife is accidentally opened. With trouble brewing in both realms, it's only a matter of time until someone says Beetlejuice's name 3 times and the mischievous demon returns to unleash his very own brand of mayhem. So yeah, I'm excited. I love Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm looking forward to it. I love it. Sorry, I'm losing my place again. I'm loving it. I'm going to be there day one when it comes out. Come on. Okay, I think I got it almost. There we go. So yeah, I'm excited to see Beetlejuice. I think everybody's excited to see Beetlejuice. So be there day one. But moving on, we got our last final story. What started as a novel anthology series idea has turned into a popular library of horror movies, with another installment dropping on Shudder October 4th. VHS Beyond is the sixth sequel to the 2012 original. That film contains 6 shorts directed by various fairly unknown filmmakers who have since gone on to do more prestigious projects. This time around, there are some familiar faces behind the segments, such as Mike Flanagan, Katie Siegel, Katie Siegel, I think, Jordan Downey, Justin Long, Justin Martinez, and Virat Pal. The first film, told in a found footage format, had an amalgam of budding talents behind the camera, including Radio Silence, Ty West, Tyler Gillette, and Adam Wingard. These filmmakers have gone on to make event feature films such as X, Ty West, Scream, Radio Silence, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, Wingard, and Abigail Gillette. What started as... God, why does it repeat itself? Jesus. VHS Beyond appears to be following the same anthology structure, but with a sci-fi twist. Shudder has done well with these low-budget films, and fans seem to love them. Obviously, some entries more than others. Flanagan's segment is called Stowaway, but no details had been released at the time of this writing. The prolific director is currently developing an Exorcist reboot/redo after Blumhouse distanced itself from the franchise due to its failed attempt. VHS Beyond will arrive in time for spooky season when it comes to Shudder on October 4th. I like the VHS series. I've always enjoyed them. I like first person view. I like the first person horror, all the way from Blair Witch to VHS. But guys, that's gonna do it for this week. I completely apologize. Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna let me. I completely apologize again for all the extra sounds you probably hear from me holding the headphone up to my ear. That will be fixed by next week. I do apologize again for not having a movie ready for you guys. I am going to do more research into my movies. I didn't. This is the first week I didn't do too much research into it, and figured it out as I was watching that. Hey, this is not an actual movie. So next week we will be doing our Christmas in July special. Literally the day after what Christmas would be. We will do it on the 26th. But for now, to find me, if you guys are interested in finding me and interacting with me at all, you can find me at the Bloody Binge Movie Podcast on X, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Hopefully, I'm going to start uploading some more YouTube videos other than the backlog of the podcasts. Not only that, you can also email me at the Bloody Binge at gmail.com. I'm sorry, not at the, at bloodybinge at gmail.com. That is BLOODYBINGE at gmail.com. You can email me your movie ideas, your movie suggestions, any kind of news. If you're a haunter and you want some news read on the air, please by all means email me at bloodybinge at gmail.com. You can also find me on Twitch at SewerDweller78 if you want to see an old man play video games very badly. The games featured on there right now are GTA 5 and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I'm getting ready to add a couple of more. I have American Truck Simulator. I've got some Planet Coaster planned out. I got some stuff planned. Hopefully I can get around to doing it. But guys, thank you again for joining me. You can also find me as always on the Owlite Network, which has helped this podcast out quite a bit. Um, you can find me every other Wednesday when the wrestling show comes back. When Matt Monsters comes back, you will find me there every other week with Matt and and my fellow monster Raz. You could also find me this Halloween season in Dayton, Ohio at Hell's Dungeon. I have a new role. I will not be in the elevator anymore. I have a new role, and it's going to be even creepier and spookier, and maybe even more offensive because I am an asshole and I get to be an asshole. But guys, thank you again for joining us. Keep watching horror movies, and remember. Actually, that is what you need to remember. Remember to keep watching horror. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.